Groundbreaking work is being done in the field of genetics that seeks to address the age-old question, how old are humans? Is it DNA that contains the magic power to the question of man's beginnings? Is there finally evidence upon which all scientists and theologians can agree? And if scientists have found what could be an ancestor that might be the biblical Adam, what about a biblical Eve?
Half of that DNA comes from an individual's mother and the other half from the father. But because both halves are shuffled together, it's difficult to identify which parent contributed which element. Mitochondrial DNA is different. It's found outside the nucleus of the cell, where there are hundreds of little energy-producing components called mitochondria. Each of these mitochondria contains a circular strand of DNA that's contributed exclusively by the mother. Because mitochondrial DNA remains relatively unchanged, it can be used to trace a person's lineage back for thousands of years, and perhaps even to the beginning of time. The uproar about mitochondrial DNA really began back in 1987 when a study was conducted by researchers at UC Berkeley which compared the mitochondrial DNA of 147 people from 5 of the world's geographic locations. Based on the results of the study, researchers concluded that all of the 147 people had the same female ancestor, an individual that's become known as the mitochondrial Eve.
The news that mitochondrial DNA might prove the existence, or at least the possibility, of the biblical Eve sent shockwaves through the scientific community. How could all humans be descended from one individual if our species was supposedly evolving all over the world? But there was another fact to deal with. Mitochondrial DNA evidence was about to reveal the time frame in which this common ancestor lived. Would this piece of information support the prevailing scientific wisdom, or deal it another blow?
By rewinding the genetic clock, scientists came up with an estimated rate of mutation and thus were able to calculate the supposed age of mitochondrial Eve. In fact, the latest DNA research shows that mutations occur 20 times faster than the original estimate. That means that the mitochondrial Eve lived between 6,000 and 6,500 years ago.